Attention dog lovers, your screen is going to be filled with cuteness in the next few minutes.
And don't say that we didn't warn you. For most people, they're things. You know, they're like streeties, they're dirty, they're strays. All have the same right to live, to learn, and to exist on this planet.
There have been several instances of bikers, old people and children being attacked by street dogs.
On one hand, there are cases of street dogs attacking children as young as 4 years old. And on the other hand, there are cases of stray dogs being poisoned to death.
Can there ever be a middle ground in this never-ending man-animal conflict? Well, there is a solution. Caregivers of stray dogs.
Although they are in minority, there are hundreds of caregivers across India who feed stray dogs, vaccinate and sterilize them, and even care for them.
But it is not that easy. It takes time, money, patience, compassion and responsibility to build that special bond with these stray animals.
That I wake up at 4 a.m. every day to cook for these 140 dogs. But I have 3 or 4 stray dogs who walk with me to the shop. They'll walk with me when I go for my walk. They'll walk with me when I'm waiting for a cab. As if there is an ill dog, I will get to know. They know the mad dog lady who can be reached out to. And in many ways, it's a compliment.
For some, caring for street dogs eats into their family life.
I'm very blessed to have a family who supports it, who has a husband who's willing to put in his time, his money, our time as a family, especially when you have a toddler child.
Others like Ashwini get donations in the form of money and even food via e-commerce sites.
I myself have done a lot of vaccination and sterilization on my money itself. So it cost me a lot.
But there is another chapter to the lives of these caregivers, one pronounced by hatred, resentment and even assaults by residents.
Some of the residents feel that a lady is pampering the street dogs by feeding them, which is why the dogs are turning ferocious.
It is indeed very tragic that children are often mauled to death by dogs. As a parent, my heart goes out to those parents who've lost their children like this. I would also be very hurt, very bitter, and very angry if a dog had killed my child. There would be no compassion.
Animal lovers, activists and even some residents hold Bengaluru's civic body, Bruhat Bengaluru Mahanagara Palike or the BBMP, responsible for this growing conflict.
Which is because of an utter failure of our civic body to perform their duties in waste management, in managing how the slaughterhouses dispose of their meat.
In case we get some knowledge of such dog, then we have a provision where we can, of course, lift those dogs temporarily for a period, keep them under observation, and then, of course, release them at a subsequent point of time.
Residents also contribute to this issue when they irresponsibly toss garbage or waste on the road.
Harish KB is an animal welfare officer trained by the Animal Welfare Board of India. He explains that the real problem arises when stray dogs are relocated, either by the BBMP or the residents themselves. The dogs become territorial and aggressive.
When the new dogs come in, the dogs which are there earlier at that spot will have the territorial issue, and to hunt their food and all becomes a problem, because of which this issues like biting, aggressiveness, that is why people get scared to even walk in that lane.
According to Indian law, relocating and killing a stray and denying it ethical treatment are illegal.
There are many people saying that dogs chase vehicles because they have some experience, some history behind that. Maybe their puppies were run over by a vehicle, or maybe they have broken their legs with a vehicle or something.
There are behavioral traits in dogs. I mean, one should not irritate a dog, one should not go near food. In case a dog is protective of our pups, one needn't go near them. Pulling the tail of dogs, teasing them. These are the kind of behavior that needs to be avoided.
While territorial aggression, food aggression, and fear aggression are natural to dogs and cannot be controlled, sexual and maternal aggression and rabies can be controlled through animal birth control. Ideally, the BBMP must ensure that all strays are neutered and spayed. But many caregivers go the extra mile to ensure compassionate and ethical sterilization and vaccination.
For those desiring to take care of stray dogs, caregivers say how to do so responsibly and with compassion. Fix a time and spot away from schools, hospitals and parks. Use disposable papers and bowls to put the food and clean them before you leave. Keep water bowls and clean them regularly lest they are contaminated by rodents. Sterilize and vaccinate them when the stray dogs are about 6 to 7 months old.
Harish suggests that the BBMP identify local volunteers and issue them ID cards that give them the authority to feed and care for stray animals.
Most dogs are friendly because they are used to human presence, and they also know how to cohabit in society. So basically, a lot of awareness is also required from our side to sensitize residents on these issues.
Caregivers also insist on respecting a person's fear of dogs and relocating the feeding spot if it is inconvenient to others. It all comes down to how you talk to your neighbor and convince them.
Don't run over them, don't beat them up, don't throw hot water on them. Small changes, lifestyle changes from us will ensure that not just you and your children are safe, but the community is well guarded.